I'm glad you found me. Thanks for joining me tonight. Let's get out of the rain and get settled in and talk a little 1111 true crime with Mama D. Remember, everything I share with you is only my opinion. I don't always agree with the ones that call me, but I respect their own expressions and beliefs. Opinions, speculation, it's all a part of every investigation, but it's only possibilities and theories based on our thoughts and feelings and not considered fact. Welcome home. Let's get in where it's warm. I've got us a nice crackling fire waiting. Well, hello, beautifuls. I survived a big old thunderstorm and I'm here with you. I hope you are safe tonight. If you've been in these storms that people are having, I hope that all your loved ones are safe as well. Come on in out of the rain or whatever poor weather there is and just cozy up by the fire with me and we'll talk a little true crime on 1111 True Crime. So, you guys, we gotta talk. We gotta talk about, we've got to get into the nitty gritty. And the big thing is, did Kohlberger actually connect to the girl's Wi Fi? Right? Because that's something everybody has an opinion on. Some people are like, he connected up to their Wi Fi. I heard it from Steve G. So I went and found that clip, and we're going to be listening to that. Let's see here. Remember, you are either on a live or a replay, and I want to say thank you to both of you. Maybe you're both. Some of you do double duty for me, and I appreciate that so incredibly much. You guys are a wonderful family, and nice and soothing and relaxing. And, sorry, forgive me, my throat. I would like to say, why is my mic so loud? Let me turn myself down a little bit. Let me know if I'm too low or too high. Okay? I want to say hello to all of our beautiful Starlight panel. We have quite a few tonight. We have got Missy Moo, Debbie, Garzado. I have a hard time with your name. I think I say that. Robin Davis Ducksworth, Chair 63. We have a full house. We also have some beautiful mods tonight. Jennifer Swain. Hello, lovely. How are you? Sassy's here. Mr. Ifs changed his name to Mr. Ifs. I love it. I love it. I don't have to explain anymore. And Ginny Bill is here. And you never know. Wildfire, Joyful Dolphin, Born Pack Rat. They may get a moment and stop in, right? All right, let's get into the hot topic. Let's see. What do we have tonight? Hot topic. Was he touching their Wi Fi? So we have a lot to go over tonight. But we need to start off with, where did it come from? Where did we hear that there was any Wi-Fi being used? Did it come from the PCA? Yes, we do have information about connections in the PCA. But does it ever state Wi-Fi? All right, so let's see what Steve G had to say.
I know everybody's been asking you this question, but do you know of any connections between Kaylee and any of the victims and this individual?
To me, I mean, it's like 9, 10 miles. I mean, I'd be shocked if these guys didn't cross each other in grocery stores and just everyday life. So I'm not going to be that surprised that there's going to be some type of thing that comes up in, I've said it, whether it's a grocery store or coffee or something. I mean, if he was over there for a year, I'm assuming that he followed them and he may have figured out what their patterns are. And then, he tries to bump into them, or he tries to hang out in those spots and, coordinate, trying to cross in. But I don't know how important they really are at this point. I just know that it happened, and we may figure it out as the case develops.
And I just look at that from, I think anybody in America is like, that's the next question, right? Is why them? Like, why would he target these people who he had no ties to? And it just feels like such rage to do that to somebody, to 4 people.
Yeah, and that kind of just tells you who he was, because you know he wasn't tied to everyone in that room. Ethan wasn't supposed to even be there. And, from what Ethan went through, you know that this guy just wasn't a man of character. He was just poorly built. And, you know, there isn't going to be some kind of connection that I would think that would explain this.
You don't think there's going to be some kind of connection that will explain this?
No, what kind would? I mean, like,
Yeah.
my girl's bullying him, or what kind of behavior could explain somebody being this brutal to another human being? I mean, he was probably obsessed with just their overall looks and their social media accounts and the fact that they were close, you know?
Makes you sick. It's sickening, I'm sure, to see the information that came out in the affidavit about how he had been by the house multiple times prior to the murders as well. I don't know if you guys knew that early on.
Yeah, and close enough that he was touching their Wi-Fi. His phone was touching their Wi-Fi. Yeah, so you know how close that is. If you've had a laptop, you walk out into your front yard, you're not going to get too far. So
I don't think I saw that part. Wow.
I don't think I saw that part. Wow. Why didn't she see that part? Because it's nowhere. It's nowhere in the affidavit. Nowhere. Now we're going to get into it, and we're going to, after we do our meet and greet, we're going to pull up. You got it. I call it the piece of crap affidavit by Brett Payne, but you can call it whatever you want. But the PCA, we're going to have to dig into it. We're going to have to do a little map time. Others have done this, but have we as a family? No. And if we're going to be able to come to a conclusion whether Brian actually would have shown up with his 4858 number close enough to the home, according to what the PCA is sharing, even if you don't believe it, we're going to go with what the PCA says to find out if that gives people that believe the PCA the right to say that. Or is it not in there? Is there nothing that connects Brian to the house digitally? Because if there's not, then we'll have the understanding of how to educate people properly, right? So, where do you want to start? I mean, it's an overwhelming subject. It really is. Was he really touching their PCA? Their Wi-Fi. I was thinking about the PCA being the answer. Let's switch over to our beautiful chat. I want to welcome all our beautiful new starlights that joined when I wasn't live, because we had actually quite a few, and that kind of surprised me, but I know that you guys are supportive as a group of each other's voices. And I want to shout out to a few people real quick. Remember, if you are on replay, just fast forward about 2 minutes at the max. You'll be right where you need to be if you don't want to do the meet and greet with me. Hello, Big Mikey. Good to see you, my lovely. Moonlight Rays. Hello, hello. Carolyn Miller. Hello. You say he wasn't there for a year. He was only in Washington for a few short months. Wasn't it June? I believe it was June of 2022. Hello, Mr. Sentinel. Steve comments are going to come back to bite him. Ooh. I think, unfortunately, if you had a family member that died this brutally, I don't think there can be anything that fixes anything. I don't know how to put this. It's hard to explain. We as a society, here, let's shift this. Shift gears. As we learn from this experience, I don't want something to bite Steve G. I don't want his own words to bite him. But I would like us to learn as a society to understand that a victim's parent is usually, especially if they're innocent, is coming from a very raw emotional place that we can't understand. And we have to start taking what they share with an absolute grain of salt rather than waiting to find out what they found out that the law enforcement have told them that nobody else knows, Because to be honest, we are learning law enforcement isn't telling anybody anything because they're protecting the case. And so families feel obligated, a push to fight for the victim, fight for the loved one. And they're going to say all kinds of things. One minute they're going to think this happened. The next minute they're going to think that happened. You think we go through rabbit holes? Let me tell you. It has to be an impossible place to be. So we can't put blame onto Steve G for anything he has said. We have to take responsibility for taking it for a grain of salt. So we have to use wisdom here. And we have to be kind because this is a father of Kaylee, of a victim. And he might tell you that in his opinion, so and so has to be guilty. Does that make that person guilty? No. He might say, I know this person did it because I didn't like the way they looked at me. It's a gut feeling. But are they right? No. And so when we really look at this crime, it was described as targeted and a crime of passion. And what that makes me believe is that it was a targeted attack. I believe it was a crime of passion. That's my belief. Okay? Now, y'all, you can have an opposite. You can be like, Brian Kohlberger is guilty all day long, every day. And I still respect you for your opinion as long as you share it kindly. Right? So, yeah, right, Big Mikey. Not to pick on you tonight. Let me clear this. Not to pick on you, but you've got some good points. Hi, Deborah. You say Steve said Brian stalked and hunted them. Nope. Exactly. That's what he thought. But we have to really look at what Brett Payne says. Now, we saw him on the stand, and honestly, it was like interviewing a kindergartner. You know what I'm saying? Like, Billy, do you know who wrote on the wall with marker? No. But, Billy, I left you in charge of the markers. I was only gone for a few minutes. Do you know who wrote on the wall? Somebody in the classroom. Right? And you're like, okay, somebody in the classroom. So why don't you go put a marker on the person's desk that you think marked on the wall? But I don't know who did it. I just know it was somebody in the classroom. So, Billy, were you watching the markers? You feel me? It's a lot like that. And so I thought in the beginning with the PCA, we were just missing some details. And I think Ann feels that way too. We're just missing details. Ray, we're missing critical details. Okay? When you look at that, it's like the PCA, which no, it's not going to include everything, is simply enough to get him arrested. The PCA has contradictions in itself. Wait till we get on map time. You and me are actually going to try to follow this on a map and see what the heck he's saying. It's so humid, I started coughing after the storm. Rayannette says, at first thought that Brian was guilty until about 6 months ago, but no more. A lot of people are starting to understand that something's not quite right with this case. Hey, as you say cat age, so it's cat age, but we'll listen. I believe JJB stands for the father of Emma Bailey, but could be wrong. If anyone knows differently, please correct me. I do know that's not her dad. I do know that's not her dad. So I'm glad I did share that. I can tell you, I did enough research to know that's not her daddy. Hey, Bew Evans, you say if Kaylee was the target because of Steve, why Red run the others? Why at the house? It would have been easier whenever she would be alone. And that's the thing. When are you going to get Kaylee alone? She's leaving for Texas. She's not even in your neck of woods if you want her. But if you were to be like, that's my target, you would have to get her to come your way or go to her. But if you need to be where you are for some reason, maybe your neck of the woods to have control, to know that house, right? The circumstance, not have her around parents, maybe intentionally it was supposed to be just Kaylee in the house, maybe with her sister, Maddie, her soul sister, Maddie. But what if two people arrived? Hmm? We don't know. We don't really know. We got a lot to cover, though. I got to stay focused on this. Who gave Steve this information? All right. So we'll try to hit it right here. I think it's right here. She's going to say, according to the PCA. And that's what they're both talking about. And that's why I want to go over the PCA so much.
You don't think there's going to be some kind of connection that will explain this?
No, what kind would? I mean, like,
Yeah.
my being, I mean, he was probably obsessed with just.
Makes you sick. It's sickening, I'm sure, to see the information that came out in the affidavit about how he had been by the house multiple times prior to the murders as well. I don't know if you guys knew that early on.
Did you catch it? According to the PCA. Right here.
Makes you sick. It's sickening, I'm sure, to see the information that came out in the affidavit about how he had been.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you. No sound. As lovely, I need you not to block anyone or delete their message if they say BK is guilty or sue me, but I think BK is guilty. Don't block them. I like I said, I encourage people to have their own opinion, and it's really important. And like I was reading a couple of these, and I'm like, no, unless I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm waiting for you guys to say I have sound, because I can say I've got sound. I'll have to clear it. Hmm. No sound still? Shows I've got sound. I may have lost chat. No sound still? Okay. Give me a 1 if you can hear me. Because it's showing me I have sound. La 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 la. Wow. There is really a delay on YouTube. Just now is showing that I've got sound back. Okay. So what I'm saying is, my mods, all my mods, let's have a little meeting real quick. If somebody says something with a swear word, then, I mean, if it's bad, don't let them show that. If they say something personal, like I hate this other person and names them, that's personal. But if they just have a different opinion, why are we not sharing that? I no sound again? I'm so confused. I'm just going to keep rolling. It says I have sound, y'all. I'm sorry if it doesn't. Okay, there it is. One's across the board. Make sure you're sharing everybody's opinion. Okay, technical difficulty back under control. Sound is good. Thank you, love. Thank you, Sassy. Thank you for being a member for 19 months. Oh my gosh. Just saying hello, lovely. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, give me a yes if you heard me. Or if I've got to repeat all that about sharing other people's opinions, because that's really important. Really important. The only time that we are blocking somebody's communication is if it offends a personal level, right? It's a swear word or it's something defamatory against one of our members or each other, or if they said to tell somebody to shut the heck up, right? But make sure you're not blocking anything else. Okay? We heard all of that. Okay, we're back on track. Opinions matter. That's right. That is absolutely right. If they don't state it is an opinion, I was under the impression that you had a problem with that. I heard you. Okay. Oh, lovely. No, 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 no. I'm just asking them to say, in my opinion. Um, I mean, I'll just not read it out loud, really, or I'll add, in my opinion. Don't worry about that, love. I'm the one confusing people. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. Now I got sound. Okay. Let's get back on track. Phew. I'm telling you, it's been a really wild day. Just like unexpected. I had a complete blackout because I didn't realize my entire lighting system in the studio, because I wanted it on one switch, was wonderful until the dogs hit it. And I had the blackout curtains up, and when they hit it, it knocked all the lighting system to the ground. And it was like two little Tasmanian devils in the dark, wound up and scared because lights are falling, cameras are falling, and I'm like, OMG. That's the kind of day we've had. So if this is the worst we got, that's okay. That's okay. Let's get back into this. Let's get back into this. He was touching their Wi-Fi. Is that a true statement? Because that is literally the words he used. Touching their, he was close enough to touch their Wi-Fi. Was he? So, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Mama here because I got to figure out, ooh, do I lose chat if I move it? Let me see. Okay. Let's say I wanted to move it and resize it. Ah, shoot. If I resize it, I want to look at the PCA is what I'm doing. I'm not going to have chat while I'm on the PCA, so I'll have to jump back and forth, you guys. That's all I can do. All right, here we go. Movie time. We're done with that for a minute. Let's get the PCA. And feel free to, read along with me if you want to open up your PCA. I'll give you a second or two. Jenny Bill says only 82 likes. Y'all come on in and show the love. How about share the love? Good sound here. All right, cool. Cool beans. I have a little sound monitor now that tells me if I can be heard or not. Sometimes I don't look at it. Tamara Terry says they allegedly started planning this in August. The Frats lived in that house, and when the heat got on them, they allowed the girls to live there temporarily. These guys wanted the house back, in my opinion. It is nice if you put my opinion. Okay, but you did say allegedly. All right, lovelies, I'm on page 12. This is Brett Payne's Exhibit A statement, affidavit, which is his sworn testimony. I'm going to start on this little part here. It's kind of like where we finally start getting some understanding on the phone, okay? So if he's going to ping on their Wi-Fi, he's going to do it with his phone, right? On December 23rd, 2022, I applied for a grant, I applied for and was granted a search warrant for historical phone records between November 12th, 2022 at noon a.m. and November 14th at 12, actually it would have been 12 o'clock in the morning, exactly midnight. How in the hell does this work? Wouldn't you wanted to know before that? Okay, so that's why. All right, that is why. This is a 48-hour request, I betcha. And this is why this makes sense. Because there's two sets of requested information. There's a 48-hour set of phone information from AT&T, and then there's a longer one. This is it. Okay, so this is the 24-hour one. Phone records between November 12th, 2022 at 12 o'clock a.m. through November 14th at 12 o'clock a.m. for the 8458 phone held by the phone provider AT&T approximately 24 hours preceding and following the times of the homicide. There's your 48-hour. On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to that search warrant, I received records for the 8458 phone from AT&T. The records indicated that the 8458 phone is subscribed to Brian Kohlberger at an address in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and the account has been open since June of 2022. These records also included historical cell site location information, CSLI, for the 8458 phone. After receiving this information, I consulted with an FBI Special Agent SA that is certified as a member of Cellular Analysis Survey Team, CAST. There you go. CAST, Cellular Analysis Survey Team. Members of CAST are certified with the FBI to provide expert testimony in the field of historical CSLI and are required to pass extensive training that includes both written and practical examinations prior to being certified with CAST, as well as the completion of yearly certification requirements. Additionally, the FBI CAST SA that I consulted with has over 15 years of federal law enforcement experience, which includes 6 years with the FBI. From information provided by CAST, I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone from November 12, 2022 to November 13, 2022, the time period authorized by the court. On November 13th, 2022 at approximately 2:42 a.m. The 8458 phone was utilizing cellular resources. Okay, now let's stop right there. All right. Was utilizing cellular resources that provided coverage to 1630 Northeast Valley Road, Apartment G, 201, Pullman, Washington, hereafter known as Kohlberger's residence. What is a cellular resource? Let's look it up. Okay, hold on, you guys. Let's get something open here. I want to make sure you can all see. We're going to be doing a little workshop. I said, get your thinking caps on. Cellular medium related to cell. Oh, what? Never mind. Why is it not cellular bone resources? How about that? Otherwise, we're getting I should have had this looked up. Basic guide to cell phone signal. Cell phone signal is what connects to one user to another across networks. So, it's not really Wi-Fi. To facilitate communication, signal reaches a cell phone in essentially the same manner that two-way radios communicate via a signal transmitter and a signal receiver when you're talking. So it's talking here. Cell phone signal is what connects one user to another across networks. I want to try something. Control F. Let's look up Wi-Fi 0. In this entire document, the word Wi-Fi is never mentioned. Because when you're talking cellular resources, right? Let's get back over to our window and open it back up a little bit. They are not talking about Kohlberger's house Wi-Fi. Why would they? His phone would have its own data. You feel me? Why would his phone connect to their Wi-Fi? And I know if you drive close enough to certain places, your phone might offer it, but not if you've already got your Wi-Fi going, your own data plan. Because, am I right about that? I'm just saying, through this entire thing, let's do it. Control F, right? We'll shrink it down here. Look at this. Wi-Fi, right? Nothing. That's why you're hearing that big kaplunk. Wi-Fi. Nowhere in this document. In the entire PCA, it never refers to the girl's Wi-Fi. All right. On November 13th, 2022, at approximately 2:42 a.m., that's when he leaves his house, right? It's reported here. Well, it's 2:47 a.m. He leaves his house. So it's showing that doesn't even tell us that he is at his apartment. This is hearsay right here. That's hearsay. Because if I said I have a device that can detect whether you're in the house or not, I won't really be able to tell you if you're in the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, the basement, none of that. All I can tell you is you're under the umbrella of the house. And that's what these towers are. They're houses. Think of them as holding a signal. So yes, his apartment falls under that umbrella. But is that where he is? You feel me? And that's the same thing we're about to get into. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the phone utilizing cellular resources that provided coverage southeast of Kohlberger's residence, consistent with the phone leaving Kohlberger's residence and traveling south through Pullman. I would like to know, was there a difference in the tower? Did he switch towers, which doesn't even mean he moved? These towers are so close, it could have simply him not even left the house. It could have jumped. It says this is consistent with movement of the white Elantra. So, at that point, they must have a photograph or eyes on this white Elantra at this time. Now keep in mind, there was a hit and run that was still going on around midnight. Was there anybody left at that time at 2:47 a.m. still in the area that his car would have been caught leaving that apartment? Because right now we don't have it. That's what, Cy Ray is saying. Like, we need the phone data. You can't just be like, it's under this umbrella here. And that's where he lives. So that's probably where he was. Because it's estimated. I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone on November 12th. Estimated that because he was utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to his apartment here after Kohlberg's residence. All right, let's continue. This is consistent with the movement of the white Elantra. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone stops reporting to the network. You do understand this is the same time. At approximately 2:47 a.m., he's using a tower in Pullman, Washington. At that exact time, the phone stops reporting to the network, which is consistent with either the phone being in the area without coverage or the phone connection. It says without cellular coverage. The connection to the network is disabled, such as putting the phone in airplane mode, or the phone is turned off. I would like to add, or the phone dies. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m. So, he definitely didn't connect to their Wi-Fi during that time. Because right now, all they have up to this point is that he is in Pullman, Washington, and that his phone disconnects from that network at 2:47 a.m. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until 4:48 a.m., at which time it utilizes cellular resources, a tower. I don't know why they can't just put tower that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95 south of Moscow, Idaho near Blaine, Idaho, north of Genesee. All right, let's go to our little handy dandy thing here. Let's go Pullman, Washington to, what was it called? Blaine. Map. Oh, it won't let me. It's all buffering. Okay. Let me pull this over for a minute. I'll pull it up for you guys a little bit better. Whoa. Don't want to take it over. All right. So we have Blaine County. So he's heading this way. Let me get it bigger. Let me understand. Okay, what road is this? Is this 95? We've got 97 here, 82 to 84. Why doesn't it tell me what road this is? Is this not a road? Let me look at this. Maybe that's something else. But what happens if I take this? I told you it's going to be a work study. 84. Okay, I don't get it. I don't get it. That makes no sense. It would take me. What? Here's Pullman. Oh, Lord, you guys. Give me a minute. It didn't take the Pullman part. I'm like, what in the world? Okay. Here we go. Thank you. I was like, what in the world? Okay, there's a 95 I'm looking for. So they're saying he left Pullman and he's headed this way, right? Right through here. So let me see. Can we add a destination? So why would he be going this way? Oh, they're saying he took the long way in? All right. Okay. I get you. Let's see what this other road's going to be. So this is 95 and 195. That's what they're saying. Instead of the 270. All right. I just have to follow this. I said, it's going to be ugly how much we got to dig into this. All right. So at 4:48 a.m., the phone reconnects to the coverage of highway south of Moscow, near Blaine, Idaho. Where's Blaine? This is Blaine County. Is there just a Blaine? I'll come up for air in a minute, you guys. I'm just taking you along with me because I want to... Okay. Lord have mercy. So he's down here. John's continuous gutter. Interesting. There's a Blaine cemetery. Now I'm curious. Blaine. Oh, I've got to add. Can I add another destination? I can't. All right, we're going to change it. I want to go to the Way Park, Idaho. Where is it? It's not coming up. What did I do wrong? I could go to India, Japan. Maybe I got to put a comma. Nope. All right, I guess we're not going to look at that. All right, let's get back over. Between 4:50 a.m. and 5:26 a.m., the phone utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling south on State Highway 95 to... So it's still going to this Genesee, Idaho. All right, let's do that. How did I spell it? You guys have terrible memory on this stuff. What was it called? Okay. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, let's see where we're headed. Okay. And that's how far away? 30. That's 24.4 miles away from his home. Okay. Just keeping up. Says then traveling west towards Uniontown, Idaho, and then north back to Pullman, Washington. At approximately 5:30 a.m., the 8458 phone is utilizing resources that provide coverage to Pullman, Washington, consistent with the phone traveling back to Kohlberger's residence. The 8458 phone's movements are consistent with the movements of the white Elantra that is observed traveling north on Stadium Drive at approximately 5:27 a.m. Okay, let's back up. I'm confused. Here's why. At approximately 5:30 a.m., it is utilizing resources that provide coverage to Pullman, Washington, and consistent with the phone traveling back to Kohlberger's residence. But 3 minutes earlier, it's on Stadium Drive. Because look where Stadium Drive is. Here's 1122 King Road. Look. Are you feeling me? Here's all of Moscow. If he's here, let's go from Stadium Road to Moscow. Now let's go to, what was his address? Let's go back to his house. Where is it? Somewhere is his address. 16th door, blah, 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 Pullman, Washington. Okay. Pullman, Blaine, that's not that one. What one were we on? This one. All right, let's go back to his house. Oh, I got to take out the apartment. $16. All right. You're seeing it. Here's his apartment. Here's Stadium Road. It's 8.8 miles. In a car, it is a 16-minute drive. So, at approximately 2:47 a.m., he is allegedly oops, I got to get back over. Here it is. Okay, at approximately 5:30 a.m., he is, as they're saying, consistent with traveling back to his place using the Pullman, Washington Tower. However, 3 minutes earlier, he's over here. No way. Based on a review of the 8458 phone's estimated locations in tribal, the 8458 phone tribal is consistent with that of the white Elantra. Further review indicated that the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13, 2022 that are consistent with the 8458 phone leaving the area of the Kohlberger residence at approximately 9 a.m. and traveling to Moscow, Indiana. Specifically, the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to the King Road residence between 9:12 and 9:21. So, anybody that pinged in Moscow on their one tower, including this home, it means Kohlberger left his house and was within probably 5 miles right here in the morning. How dare he go anywhere in the morning? The 8458 phone next utilized cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling back to the area of Kohlberger's residence and arriving approximately 9:32. How'd he pull that crap off? It was nowhere near. Okay. At 9:21 and 9, that's 11 minutes, right? 11 minutes. Here's Kohlberger's house. Here's Stadium Road. How'd he do that in 11 minutes? No, he couldn't have. Because, let's see, where would be 11 miles? Right in here? So we'd be out here in this area way over here? Because you don't have 16 minutes. You have 11 minutes. And so if this is where they live, he's at least 5 minutes away from their home. Yet, that's considered returning back. Below is a depiction, not to scale, of the possible route. Now, how could it be the possible route? You're saying you've got him on camera at these locations and you've got his phone being tracked, but this is a possible, not to scale route taken based off a cellular location. Yeah, they're saying he went the long way around. I'm coming up for air. I'm coming up for a minute. We'll get back into it. I'm just saying, there's no way. Tour 16 says you can't get lost up there. Small towns. 13 minutes to travel there. It said 16 to from Pullman to the girl's apartment. Big Mikey says, in my opinion, Brian and Bethany were at the park doing the hippity dippity. What happened to Wildfire? I felt bad for her when the realization and she broke down. Wildfire. Who you talking, Pin Desi? What happened to Wildfire? I haven't had anybody tell me. Oh, there's Wildfire. Never late, divine timing. That's right. Hello, lovely. Anna Orlando says, I say those undercover cops at the grub hubs are shady as pluck. Same cops at the noise complaints were at the crime scene. Why were sergeants and other high-ranking cops, I'm going to just say Ellie, at the house for noise complaints? Bu Evans says, I always thought BF bolted as soon as she heard the craziness. Jane Kelly Quinn says, wow, I didn't know there were undercover cops at the GT. It's all hearsay. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. We do know that we had an unmarked car with men in black claiming to be officers on the Banfield, right? Which they are officers, but why are they not dressed in uniform? Hi, Zen Jen. Not late at all, lovely. Timmer Terry says, Bu Evans, yes, real. If you go to Open My Perspective, she talks with students and BF2. The Red Rooms happened at Lynn Lane and Banfield. Kaylee might be the only one killed at. Oh, my goodness. Kayla Miller says, and the speed limit is low in that area. What happened at Bubbly Waters? Is she okay? I feel like I'm missing something. I was out of chat too long. Yeah, that is true. They were clad in black. Is Bubbly okay? I'm just asking. You guys, Pete over at 666 Metal Mayhem, please send him your love. He is going through some very serious health issues. Murder Metal Mayhem. It's very hard for me to say super fast. He needs our love right now. Pin Dizzy says, you need to see the Grub Truck video today. She did. She found the Grub Truck chat. Well, interesting. All right, I'm going to let you guys continue to visit, and we're going to go back over and dig into the PCA. I'll let you guys chat amongst yourself. Okay. Switch screens there. Hold on a minute. I'm going to grab a little drink. Well, might I suggest that we try to get on topic here with this? Because I'm telling you guys, this is not going to make sense if you're not paying attention to this part. Because there are some problems with this. Well, I'm sorry, Bubbly Waters is stressed. I'll be honest, this case stresses me every day. Investigators found that the 8458 phone did connect to a cell tower that provides service to Moscow on November 14th, 2022. But investigators do not believe the 84558 phone was in Moscow on that date. So it is, stop right there. That's a false positive. That is a false positive right there. To me, it just says, okay, so why would I trust anything else about that report? If your report is being shed that, okay, Brian's phone was here these 12 days, you can't count that one though. It says he was there, but we don't think he was. Oh, okay. The 8458 phone has not connected to any towers that provide service to Moscow since that date. Uh-huh. Based on my training experience and the facts of the investigation thus far, I believe. So this is actually Brett Payne's belief, right? That's all he's putting down. I believe that Kohlberger, the user of the 8458 phone, was likely, okay, again, he believes it, it's likely the driver of the white Elantra that is observed departing Pullman, Washington, and that this vehicle is likely suspect vehicle 1. Huge disconnect. Huge disconnect. We're already at suspect, and we go from leaving the apartment in a white vehicle to suspect vehicle 1. We're using likely and I believe. Those are to cover your ass words. Additionally, the route of travel of the 8458 phone during the early morning hours of November 13, 2022, and the lack of the 8458 phone reporting to AT&T between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. is consistent with Kohlberger. Okay. This is all part of Payne's belief. Remember, this is all being foreshadowed with I believe and was likely. So he's saying I believe, right? The phone reporting to AT&T between 2:47 and 4:48 is consistent with Kohlberger attempting to conceal his location during the quadruple homicide that occurred at the King Road residence. Again, all the middle parts missing. We go right from the apartment directly to the homicide. On page 16, here we go. How you guys doing over here? Let's get back to chat before we start. Let me pull up our little chat window one more time. There we go. Tour 16 says, Mama D, you're a saint to try to make heads and tails of that. I'm just saying we're going to pull it apart. We've got to do it. It's probably a load of bullshit, but we're going to make it all the way through and point out every bullcrap. Hey, Jess Judy. How are you doing? Good to see you, lovely. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about there. Tour 16 says, Big Mike, what park? Sorry, she seems snooty and he seems like a creepy type. She wouldn't go near. Just my opinion. Talking about Bethany and Kohlberger. Thank you, Taurus. Antique Jean says, I believe Brett Payne is his name. But that's about all I think he got correct. Bu Evans says, I love Living True Crime. I appreciate your channel. Thank you for all that you do. I enjoy you. Just saying. Thank you, lovely. Big Mikey says, Brian was coming from Washington, or coming from Waiawai Park, close to 5 a.m. We don't know for sure, but I'm just saying, something's wrong with this whole timeline. How'd he do it? It's 16 minutes. He did it in 11? How freaking fast was he driving? I mean, he must have been a blur on Highway 95. I don't know how he could weave the traffic. He had to make up 5 minutes. Like, you guys, if you go 65 and you have 16 minutes to get there, I'm sorry, 11 minutes to get there, but it normally takes you 16. Somebody do the math on that and tell me how fast his car would have had to be going. I'll bet you it's going to hit top of 90. I'm just saying. Timber Terry says, ban is okay. I'll let you guys keep talking about that. You guys, I appreciate there's a lot of other creators and I do support them. But when we're doing our video and I want to bring you guys up on chat, and you're talking about other creators and you're not talking about what we're talking about, I'm going to skip it so it keeps us on track. Just saying. Mama D, Desiree said so. Okay, thank you, Big Mikey. That helps. That helps. Right, Jenny? How fast would his car have to be going? I'm going to take the responsibility and take a little bit more time on chat so I can read it and that way make sure it's on target. Oh, wonderful. Holly Berry says, Mama D, yeah, I believe that perhaps the white Elantra of BK's year is not even related to the atrocity at all. Your at least percent on the poll was 25%, which I chose. Otherwise, I've selected 10, 5, 0. Got ya. I agree. Anna Orlando says, I like that this channel is being truly fair on this case. I like this channel. Think I'm going to stay. Well, welcome, Anna Lovely. Welcome. Let's get back over. We want to stay on it, you guys. So at this point, they're trying to say he had 11 minutes to make it on a 16-minute trip. Okay, gotcha. Let's read this part. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it. On December 23rd, 2022, I was granted a search warrant for Kohlberger's historical CSLI from June 23rd, 2022 to current. So this is a longer search warrant for AT&T. So it's from December 23rd, 2022 all the way back to June 23rd when he moved there to current. So, current at the time of the PCA. Prospective location information, and he got a phone tap put on. So it says a pin register trap and trace on the 8458 phone to aid in efforts to determine if Kohlberger stalked. That's where they get this. So it was in efforts to determine if Kohlberger stalked. Never says in the PCA that Kohlberger stalked any of the victims. So he got a tap and trace with a search warrant to find out, to determine if Kohlberger stalked any of the victims in this case prior to the offense. Conducted surveillance on King Road residents, was in contact with any of the victims associated before or after the alleged offense, any locations that might contain evidence of the murders that occurred on November 13th, 2022, the location of the white Elantra registered to Kohlberger, as well as the location of Kohlberger. And I know I say Cole, but it's Kohlberger. I have an accent and sometimes I can't help it. All right, you guys, listen to me. All of that was justification, every bit of this that I just read you was what was used as a reason to get a search warrant. But there's no statement here. You understand? It's to aid in the efforts to determine if Kohlberger stalked any of the victims prior to the events, if he conducted surveillance on the road, if he was in contact with the victims, if there was any contact after the crime, if any of the locations had any evidence, right? It was determinate. So, on December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to that search warrant, I received historical records for 8458 phone from AT&T from the time the account was opened in June 2022. After consulting with Cast SA, I was able to determine estimated, best guess is an estimation, best guess, estimated locations for the 8458 phone from June 2022 to present, the time period authorized by the court. The records for the 8458 phone show the 8458 phone utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to the area of 1122 King Road on at least 12 occasions prior to November 13th, 2022. So that means, and I'm not kidding you, that there were 12 times prior to November 13th, 2022 that put Brian in, hold on, are you ready? Sit down. Put your drink down. I don't want you to spill it. Where Brian drove at least 9 miles to the town of Moscow. Boom, boom, boom. Because they only got one tower. So it automatically covers 1122 King Road. And they also said he was in the area when he was over 5 minutes away. So he could have been 3-4 miles from the home, getting coffee at a little coffee shop, picking up a vape. Who knows? But they want to use that umbrella as if he is in the kitchen and you know it. And that umbrella is not going to do that. It isn't. And it's not going to connect to their Wi-Fi. That is not a true statement. It goes on to say all of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early morning hours of their respective days. Let me tell you something. My college kids are up all damn night. They sleep all day. It's part of it. I'm just saying. It's true. It goes on to say, one of these occasions on August 21st, 2022, so he moved there in June, right? I'm not sure of the date, around the 23rd, something like that, or when his phone started, something like that. So we're looking at about 8 weeks away from he moves there. It says the 8-4-5-8 phone utilized cellular resources, providing coverage to King Road residents at approximately 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. So he was in Moscow. At approximately 11:37 p.m., Kohlberger was stopped by the Latah County Sheriff's Deputy C.P.L. Duke, as mentioned above. The 8548 phone was utilizing cellular resources consistent with the location of the traffic stop during this time. Farm Road and Pullman Highway. Should we look that up? Let's change this. Farm Road, Idaho. Okay, Farm Road, Moscow. All right. Way up here. Okay. Now let's change this to okay. Now let's take out the Pullman. And let's go. Okay. Let's do this. All right. How far away are we? 7 minutes. Yep. 2.5 miles away. Up here. Farm Road. What's at Farm Road? Let's look out here. It's the sheep center. Whoops, sorry. Which it could have been anywhere on this farm road. Is this whole road farm road? Yes. Where does it change? Because this isn't. Okay. What's this one? Okay, so it changes to Farm Road after you cross Highway 8. So, in order to be on Farm Road, it would be about a half a mile. 0.7 mile. That's the closest he would have been when they found him, or when they pulled him over. I don't know exactly where he was stopped, of course. Okay, let's get back over. How you guys doing? How you doing? Let's get back over to chat real quick. Hold on a moment. Dear Sheldon, I hope I said that right. Accuracy is the issue. My, I would not be on bind my question with accuracy until air tags are on his vans, which he seems not to wear, of course, in my opinion. I missed something, y'all. It's not working to do chat tonight. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys to continue that, and I'm going to keep going. I mean, I just want to get through this somehow to understand it. All right. And this may not be making sense, but to a few of us. I'm just saying. All right. So where was Farm Road? Okay. Way up. Where's Farm Road? Whoops. Let me type it. Okay. I found my place. One way to do it. One of these occasions. Wait. We missed something. Okay. One of these occasions. All right. Was stopped by the sheriff. We did that one. Further analysis of the cellular data provided shows the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13, 2022, consistent with the phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston, Idaho. By Highway 195 at approximately 12:36 p.m. The 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe copy stand. All right, let's get this Lewiston on the board. Okay, now where are we going? We're going to go from that. Wait. Where did we have our farm road? Right here. And then we want Lewiston. Did I do it right? Idaho. Okay. Is that the way to spell it? Yep. $33 and almost 34 miles. Okay. Just understanding all this. At approximately 12:36 p.m., the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe copy stand located at 810 Port Drive, Clarkston, Washington. Okay, I want to see Clarkston, Washington. Hmm. 35.6 miles, 46 minutes. So, they do not give us a time to start with. They just intercede right here that now he's at Cup of Joe. All right. Surveillance footage from the U.S. Chef Store located at 820 Port Drive, Clarkston, Washington, and adjacent to Kate's Cup of Joe. Wait. I'm not understanding this. That is so far away. $12.46. He's still in Clarkston, Washington. I know I've quit reading it because I'm trying to figure this out. You guys are going to have to bear with me. So he was in a completely different town. I am... So on November 13th, after the crime, The only time I'm figuring out was that 9 o'clock one. He was over 5 miles away. Or, I mean, 5 minutes away from their home. The rest of the time, it appears that he's off at Kate's Cup of Joe. He's out for a drive. He's stopping at Kate's Cup of Joe. He is basically enjoying a little time away from things. He goes to the grocery store in Clarkston, Washington. He walks through the store at 12:49, picks up a couple things. So now it's the day of the crime. So it's still the 13th, and it's talking about 5:32 and 5:36 p.m. is in Johnson, Idaho. An hour and 43 Johnson? Is that right? Johnson? Johnson, Idaho. Okay, so he's went basically from this Clarkston, Washington. Where is it? I know, I'm getting confused too. To Johnston. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Let's get this Clarkston and see where he's gone. So he's even gone further away. He's way over here by this place called Headquarters. What is that? What in the world? It's an unincorporated area. What a name. Where'd my thing go? I'll hit it again. Oh, I must have it too small. Oh, yeah. Okay. The 8458 phone then stops reporting to the network from 5:36 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So, almost like 12 hours, like a little under 12 hours, a little over 12 hours from the original time they quit pinging. Well, actually more like 13, 14 hours. Which could be that his phone went dead again. He goes on to say that is consistent with 8458 phone being in the area, that the 8458 phone traveled in the hours immediately following the suspect's time the homicides occurred. What? That is consistent with the 8458 phone ping being the area that the 8458 phone traveled in. Okay, so he's saying, this is bull. On November 27th, 2022, Pennsylvania agents recovered trash, and it goes on to that, and it goes into this, and then we're done. And that's all there is to the phone. All there is to the phone. There is no connecting to the Wi-Fi. The closest at all that the PCA provides is within 5 minutes of their home. Is the closest that they put Brian's car or phone. Is within 5 minutes, and that wasn't even at the time of the crime. 5 minutes. So now I want to look up hold on, you guys. We're going to do something. Okay. I want to know how 5 miles. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Okay. So here we are, right? Let's see what is about 5 miles away. Let's go to Best Western Plus. How many miles is this? That's only a mile 0.7. Okay, that's 5 minutes. Okay, so a mile 0.7 in any direction. Okay, let me do this real quick. We're going to grab this. This is perfect. All right, now let's switch over to pink. Whoa, can you see? Okay. All right, I got pink. Ballpoint. Let's do red. All right, let's try to, can I just insert, oh, I can just do a circle. How beautiful is this? Outline, yes. Okay, red, thank you. I hope we can move it around. We can. Oh, I just draw another one. Let's try this again. I can't move it. Oh, yeah, I can. All right. Let's try to keep it round. Okay. So the PCA is stating the closest that they can put Kohlberger is approximately 5 minutes away. And that Best Western right here, plus University Inn, shows, where is it? Where is it? Right here, that is 5 minutes away. So now we're going to use that exact, whatever you want to call it, for a radius mark. And this is how many places Brian could have been, but not closer. But somewhere in this radius out here is where he would have been able to be put if we did a radius using the King Road as the center. Are you guys following me? Are you following me? That the PCA has yet, after all of that, to put him any closer than 5 minutes, and that was at 9 something. Where is it? I want to grab it. It's after the crime. It's at 9 something, I thought. I could be wrong. I can't find it now. Whatever. You feel me? It's getting too confusing. Are you feeling me? Look at this. Whoop. I can't make it any. I can't get it up there. It opens huge. Are you seeing? Okay, you guys are following. So, for those that have the question, let's get back over. Was he close enough to touch their Wi-Fi? Right? Oh, we lost our fire. Can't have that. No. There is nothing suggesting he touched their Wi-Fi. Okay? Y'all, I sweated. Working for you. Working for our justice here. Right? He was not noted anywhere in the PCA. I just went over it all. Of ever connecting to the Wi-Fi. In fact, if somebody makes the accusation out there, you can tell them. If you're going off of the PCA, Brett Payne himself does not put Brian any closer than 5 minutes to the 1122 King Road. And that's what he believes and is his best estimate. Okay? So, whew. Right, Big Mikey says, following you, Mama D, don't fart. I know, I was like steam work, right? Like, I had to mentally prepare for this moment. To go through this, I'm like, I got to read that PCA. Let's get chat up on the board. You guys are with me here. Thank you for coming back with me. Look at that. Carolyn Miller, yes, Mama D, absolutely following you. Wildfire, yes, following you. A lot of yeses, yes, and yes. Good, good, good. Big Mikey says, yep. Thank you, Stormcat. I mean, I go about it a little bit different than most people, I will admit. I'm a layman's kind of term person. I'm a mama D. I'm a mama. That's it, you know? And with that, I wanted to understand it so that when we're giving back information to someone, don't always get aggressive when they say, BK's guilty. Do you know how many people we have turned into keeping their eyes open and really understanding things? Because we took time to say, why do you think he's guilty? Well, he hooked up to their Wi-Fi. Can I explain? Are you open-minded enough for me to show you something where he did not hook up to their Wi-Fi? Well, Steve G said that. Well, yes, but parents say a lot of things that they may believe but have no understanding if it's true or not. So let me show you, right? And that way, we're gaining momentum. We're not fighting someone. It's not that side or this side. Everybody really wants justice that's paying attention. Even those that are like, BK's guilty. They want justice for the Idaho Poor. Because we do want justice, even if BK is guilty or not. But we have to look at what are they presenting, saying this is why he is presumed innocent but will be proven guilty in a court of law from a prosecution standpoint. Now, that PCA, you saw that. It showed that he was somewhere in Moscow. That's it. Now, you guys, there's 22,000 white Elantras. 22,000. How are they going to prove in a court of law that that's Brian's sitting where they want to put him, which is at the house, right? They can't even put a person at the house, really, because somebody also said today, well, the DNA don't lie. He can't get out of that. Excuse me. The DNA is called touch DNA, and the military refuses to use it in a court of law because it's considered unfair and unreliable. And the reason is that somebody else could have touched your weapon and been used in a crime. Okay? You use it in a crime. And then, guess what? Hey, did that person commit the crime or did you? It's unreliable. It's transferable. It could be taken off of a drinking cup and put onto a murder weapon. That's too high risk. It doesn't require the individual at all to be incriminated in a crime. You never have to be present. You never have to know that person, but you could be implicated in a crime. And it is loose. And I mean loose because DNA is like extremely contaminatable, if that's a word. Easily contaminated. Cross transfer often occurs in cases way more than you think. We had it in the Steve Avery case. Cross contamination from the lab itself. How do I know? Because they had to write a complete deviation from their normal rules because the lab attendant, the one doing the investigation on the actual bullet, coughed onto the standard of the test. How do you cough on the standard when you're supposed to be wearing a mask? Whole different ball game. Dara says the homework, right? Carolyn Miller says, how many of us travel 10 miles from our home? Everybody, I want you in chat to put how many miles away you travel to work. Make it be 10, 100, I don't care. List how many miles you travel to work. And if you aren't traveling to work, then if you're a work-at-home person or you're retired, so forth, make it to the grocery store. How many miles do you drive on a regular basis to work, or if that's not your thing, to the grocery store? Joe Puglish, you get a big star. The DNA doesn't lie, but the PCA does. And guess what? Brett Payne wrote that PCA. Krista Nicole says, I just stumbled across your channel this week. Criminal justice has been my passion for the last 20 years. Because of my own personal case, I'm impressed with how you've covered this. Definitely a new fan. Well, thank you, lovely. Thank you. Well, thanks for the info, says Wildfire. Lucy's mom says, I can't answer the poll. There's nothing less than 25%. Well, I figured they've got, they say there's always some truth to every lie, right? And I was like, well, I've only got 4 places. So I'll make it 25, 50, 75, and 100. But I agree. It's hard. Didn't they say BK bought a K-bar on Amazon? Where is it? Keto Kieran is asking. Where is it, you guys? And was the K-bar really used? I'm going to be doing more research on that. I have an expert that was talking about how it doesn't always mean, when they say it doesn't match the means, does not always mean. I found it after I made the point, and I hope I saved it. I do have it in history somewhere. It doesn't always mean that the weapons don't match. Okay? It could mean that it's the same weapon, but that it's different ways the weapon was used. Like it could be the base of the weapon. It could be the blade of the weapon. It could be different ways you could use it. That was one. And then she also said it could mean that it didn't match the weapon being described. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm saying. How do we know if it's big open gouges and chunks missing that it's a K-bar? I'm asking you guys. Why not an axe? Which would be more controlling? If you have a strong wrist, you're going to choose an axe over a knife. I'm saying you have a lot more swing and you don't have to worry about your hands slipping down onto the blade. You feel me? Everybody wanted to know. Everybody was like, the mainstream media, everybody was all like, there's going to be a DNA from the killer because highly likely that there was blood on the blade and his hand's going to slip. And I'm like, not if it's an axe. Okay, we've got Jess Judy says 3 miles. June Coggin says about 15 miles. Cheryl says 5. All right. So basically, if you would have went shopping, if you were in Pullman and you like to shop in Moscow, right? You would have pinged on the 1122 King Road cellular provider type system. Really, really. Kellen Miller says, my brother lives 10 miles away, 2 towns over. Glenda Hinshaw says, tomahawk might have been used, no receipt, in my opinion. Joe Puglish says, I've said from the beginning an axe was used, in my opinion. Carolyn Miller says, left-handed or right-handed. It really doesn't matter. Because my ex and his brother, one was left-handed, one was right-handed, and they used the same axe. They would take turns chopping wood with it. Dara Sheldon, looking for abnormalities in mindset of innocence still proven. OMG, what if he is not related to PCA? What if he is not related to PCA? Let's truly make justice our job. Well, lovely, welcome aboard. That's what we've been working on. Palm Mom says, but they said stabbed, sliced, not chopped, right? They said not really stabbed wounds, not poked. They said gouges. Okay, let me make a note. We're going to get back onto the corner. That'll be our next thing. The corner, and if the weapon fits, that's our next thing. Is it the right weapon? Let me show you something real quick. You're going to have to give me a minute. I'm going to get over and grab a file for you. Uno momento, my beautiful. Okay. All right, let me close this and I'll get on screen. I got to make it a lot smaller for you. I'm going to show you what we're doing tomorrow. Movie time, movie time, movie time. This is what we're going to be doing tomorrow, you guys, because I found something that really stuck with me. And I'm like, holy crap, I have a big question. Now, it's going to be a opinion-based, right, discussion, family discussion tomorrow night. Do your homework, or you might have already done your homework. Bring your opinions to the table. We're going to be talking about, were they, because that's what the KILLERs are always referred to, right? They, even by Steve G, they didn't need to go upstairs. All right. They were inside already. I think I found something that really makes me think, without a doubt, that the KILLERs were already in the house waiting on Kaylee and Maddie, which would then mean, feel me here, that what if Ethan and Santa were taken out first because they came home unexpectedly? These people thought they had it covered. The girls were going to come home first. They were waiting. 2 individuals showed up. Now we got a high risk we've got to take out. So take them out. Make sure you take them out in their room so that there's no sign when the girls come home. That way you corral them upstairs and there's really no way out but that balcony. And are these girls going to jump off that balcony? Okay. So I want to talk about that tomorrow night. That's what it's going to be about. Just giving you a heads up because I think that's going to be a big, big thing to talk about. 2.5 miles to the grocery store, says Antique Jeans. Oh, I get you, Carolyn. Good point. Killen Miller says the wound entries can prove, is the killer right-handed or left-handed? See, I'm telling you, there's something off with all these autopsies. I want Ann Taylor to go over those autopsies and really compare the wounds to the weapon. That's going to be like that moment. Like if you were part of the Karen Reed trial, if you are, I'm going to tell you right now, his wounds on his, I believe it's his right arm, Officer John O'Keefe, are the hot topic. How were those wounds made? And it looks like dog bites to almost everybody that's like saying Karen's innocent. And those that are saying Karen Reed is guilty are saying, well, that happened when he bent down and the tail light hit him or whatever. Okay, so it's a huge part will be, is the prosecution going to actually be able to prove that K-bar, because that's what they're saying Brian used, K-bar knife has to be a K-bar, you guys. They can't switch gears because his DNA is on a K-bar sheath, right? So they can't change gears. They're locked in. I'm just saying. Private account says, I've done my homework already. The perps was already there, in my opinion. I have said this for quite some time. Ooh, this is going to be a good one, you guys. It's good. If I didn't find something that made me go, whoa, I would not already have this thumbnail made. Because you guys know, wherever my research takes me, that's what we do right then and there, right? Right, Carolyn Miller, right. Kathleen Van Bogart, hello, my lovely. You beautiful lady. I adore you. Say hi to Tommy Jude for me. I appreciate his channel so much. Once Upon a Crime Time, a wonderful channel. Stormcat says, I'll be here tomorrow. Excellent. And I did send an email out to Jen over at Divine Pathways. And so we're going to do what sounds like she wants to do, like I'm going to call it a coffee chat, like a coffee tea chat about Summer Wells. And so, oh, I'm hearing somebody out there. Who knows? Carolyn Miller says, special note, the missing person Kaylee was identified looked almost exactly like Kathy Mavick, coroner of the Idaho 4, in my opinion. You think so? I'd have to look again, but I didn't think that right off the thought. That is weird. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to be talking about, was the killer already inside? And then we're going to get into the weapon. Does it match the actual, the description that Kathy and them give? Annette Curtis says, always believe the killers knew them personally, and it ain't Brian. Well, I mean, really think about it, you guys. This seems like a personal. Again, I'm at the beginning of the video, right? Well, and we're going to end it. We're going to end it in the next few minutes here. I want to thank you all for coming my way, spending this beautiful time together so that I'm not spending the evening talking true crime to the wall. I have the beautiful family, 1111 family, always joining in to chat with me. I love that. I look forward to you every day. Oh, yeah, it's a new moon in Gemini, you guys. A 666 portal. Well, 666 because we are in 2024. So if you add 2, it'd be 8. Never mind. Never mind. Carolyn Miller says, agree, Annette. Let me go find Annette. What did Annette say? Xana's father said they were home at midnight eating pizza. Boom! I'm telling you guys. This is going to get crazy tomorrow. I can't wait to talk about it. Tamara Terry says the red rooms happened outside the house, except Kaylee allegedly, in my opinion. The house was used for the staging after 4:30 a.m. Kaylee may have been unalive behind the house, Ban said. I'm not sure what you're talking about, lovely. I don't know what you're talking about. Anna Orlando says, I can't wait to hear about this tomorrow night. You think it'll be fun? I do too. And it's time to have a good time and relax, right? It happened with an axe in the bedroom by the professor. No, I ain't even saying that. That lady, she ended up with a lawsuit, my lovely. Dara? Is that how I say it? Dara? Darg? I'm so sorry. I drive through small towns to go to preferred market. Must fulfill my preferred market. I know, not alone. You're not alone. I drive, I think it's 12 miles. No, it's 10. It's 10. I don't say it a lot, but I love this channel. Thank you, private account. Thank you, lovely. You could be right there, Missy Moo. The camera next door carries the answers. One last comment here by Dara. Mama D, love the insight. Glad you're feeling better. And I'm on vacation mentally. Been following for years and months. Totally agree with Lay in Washington copycat op Ramirez. Well, that's an interesting note to end on. I got Mr. Jackson bringing me a bone. He wants to go play. That is my Jack Russell. Thank you guys so much for talking about whether Brian actually touched their Wi-Fi. Was he close enough? No. According to the PCA and to the best of my understanding, my best judgment is the closest that Brett Payne estimated, which is his best guess, is that he was around 5 minutes away. And that was the closest he ever got, according to the PCA. All right, my lovelies, let's get you over to our movie time. Let's clear our screen of the PCA. Oh, yeah, we don't need that anymore. Let's get on a little slideshow. Does that work? Yeah, that works wonderful. You know, I love you to the moon and back. Can't wait to see you all tomorrow, my beautiful. Thank you.
You can tell yourself and all our friends I was wrong and you were right. But your sins that happened in the dark will come out in the light. I'm not gonna waste my breath, I won't put up a fight. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years yell out the truth.
Sing it with me, you guys. Time will tell. Time will tell on you.
When a train whistles far away, and when the cold wind
Shout out to Brandon Maddox.
lightning in your eyes reveals the darkness in your soul.
Check him out.
The world will be reminded of what it already knows. 'Cause
Sing
the
it.
days are gonna whisper,
I hear ya.
and the months are gonna talk.
Bet they are.
Until the years yell out the truth.
Loud and clear. Time will tell. Time will tell
On you.
Gotta love him. He's an amazing musician, songwriter.
No one may ever say a thing, but surely as the seasons change, you feel like every finger points at you.
'Cause you're to blame.
And the
Days are gonna whisper, and the months are gonna talk.
until the years
Shout out the truth. Nobody can sing it like Brandon. Time will tell. Time will tell.
on you.
Every single one of you that committed this crime, I assure you.
It's gonna tell on you.
Every one of you that did this crime. Justice for the Idaho poor. Love you guys.